Remote work has changed the way careers grow. In the past, promotions often happened in environments where managers could physically see their employees every day. They could observe who was engaged in meetings, who stayed late to finish projects, and who seemed to contribute the most energy to the team. Those signals played a big role in how managers evaluated performance. But remote work has changed that completely. Today, millions of professionals work from home, from co-working spaces, or even from different countries. Managers no longer see the daily effort behind each employee's work. Instead, they rely on something much more concrete. They rely on metrics. Metrics are measurable signals that help managers understand how much value an employee is creating for the team and for the organization. If you work remotely and want to grow in your career, understanding these metrics is extremely important. Because promotions rarely happen simply because someone worked very hard. Promotions happen when leaders can clearly see the results of someone's work. In this video, we are going to break down the metrics that actually influence promotions in remote environments and how you can focus your work in ways that make your contributions more visible and valuable. Why metrics matter more in remote work. To understand why metrics matter so much, it's helpful to compare remote work with traditional office environments. In a physical office, managers gather a lot of information indirectly. They observe how employees communicate with colleagues. They see how people handle unexpected challenges. They notice who steps up during stressful moments. These observations help them form impressions about employees. But when teams work remotely, most of those observations disappear. Managers do not see the daily effort behind each task. They only see what appears in project management tools, reports, updates, and completed work. Because of this, managers depend much more heavily on objective indicators of performance. These indicators often include things like completed work, measurable results, improvements to systems, and contributions that help the team perform better. Understanding these signals allows remote professionals to focus their energy on the work that actually gets noticed. Metric 1. Output. The first metric that managers pay attention to is output. Output refers to the amount of meaningful work that gets completed over time. For example, a developer's output might include the number of features they successfully build or bugs they fix. A content creator's output might be the number of articles, videos, or reports they publish. A customer support professional's output might be the number of support requests they resolve. Output is important because it demonstrates productivity. In remote work environments, productivity needs to be visible through results rather than physical presence. However, there is an important point to remember. High output alone is not enough. Someone who produces a large amount of work but creates mistakes or delays can actually slow the team down. That is why managers evaluate output together with other metrics. Metric 2. Quality. Quality measures how well work is completed. High-quality work requires fewer corrections, fewer revisions, and fewer follow-up questions. For example, if a designer consistently delivers polished designs that are ready for publication, the marketing team can move forward quickly. If a developer writes reliable code that rarely breaks, the team avoids hours of troubleshooting later. Quality saves time for the entire team. And in remote environments, where communication delays can already slow progress, reliable quality becomes incredibly valuable. Professionals who consistently produce high-quality work build trust with their managers and colleagues. Over time, that trust becomes one of the strongest foundations for career growth. Metric 3. Consistency. Another metric that strongly influences promotions is consistency. Many people perform well occasionally. They might deliver an excellent project or solve a difficult problem once or twice. But promotions usually go to people who perform well repeatedly over time. Consistency demonstrates reliability. Managers want to know that the person they promote will continue delivering strong results even as responsibilities increase. Remote teams depend heavily on reliability because members often work independently. When someone consistently meets deadlines, maintains quality, and communicates clearly, they reduce uncertainty for the rest of the team. Over time, consistent performance creates a reputation for dependability. And that reputation plays a major role in promotion decisions. Metric 4. Initiative. Initiative is another powerful signal that managers look for when evaluating employees. Initiative means identifying opportunities to improve things without waiting to be asked. In remote environments, initiative becomes even more valuable because managers cannot monitor every process closely. Employees who demonstrate initiative often notice inefficiencies in workflows, suggest better ways to organize tasks, identify tools that improve productivity, solve problems before they escalate. For example, imagine a remote employee who notices that their team spends several hours every week manually organizing data. If that employee suggests a simple automation tool that saves the team hours of work, they have demonstrated initiative. Even small improvements like this show leadership potential. Managers often view initiative as a sign that someone is ready for greater responsibility. Metric 5. Impact. Perhaps the most important metric for promotions is impact. Impact measures how much your work contributes to the organization's broader goals. While output measures activity, impact measures results. For example, a marketing campaign that increases website traffic shows impact. A support process that reduces response times shows impact. A workflow improvement that saves the team several hours each week shows impact. Impact connects your work to the success of the organization. When leaders can clearly see that connection, it becomes much easier for them to advocate for your promotion. Tracking your metrics. Understanding these metrics is one thing. Tracking them consistently is another. One simple habit can make a big difference in how your work is recognized. At the end of each week, take a few minutes to write down what tasks you completed, what measurable results those tasks produced, any problems you solved, any improvements you introduced, any positive feedback you received. Over time, this record becomes a powerful resource. During performance reviews or promotion discussions, you will not need to rely on memory. You will have clear examples of the value you have created. Communicating your impact. Another important step is communicating your results effectively. Many professionals assume their managers automatically notice the value they create. But managers often manage multiple projects and teams at the same time. Clear communication helps ensure your work is recognized. For example, when sharing updates, focus on outcomes rather than tasks. Instead of saying, "I worked on the reporting system," you might say, "The updated reporting system reduced preparation time for the team." This simple shift highlights the impact of your work. And impact is what leaders remember when they evaluate employees. Final thoughts. Remote work has changed the way performance is evaluated. Because managers cannot observe daily work directly, they rely more heavily on measurable signals of value. The professionals who understand these signals gain a major advantage. By focusing on output, quality, consistency, initiative, and impact, remote workers can demonstrate their value clearly and consistently. These metrics transform your work from invisible effort into measurable results. And when leaders can clearly see the results you produce, it becomes much easier for them to recognize your contributions and consider you for promotion. Remote promotions rarely happen by accident. They happen when professionals consistently deliver results that move the organization forward. If you found this helpful, you can also read the full article here.